And I'll start by singing a song that we all find out for ourselves if it's a real connection to real guidance and a real education. And it's however you sing it. New you. You can do that like 15 minutes before you go to sleep at night. And maybe 15 minutes when you wake up in the morning. And see if the real guides will start providing real guidance and a real education about what life is. Anyway, there's a word that in this new presentation that I've been hearing quite a bit, and the word is negate. And I look it up in the dictionary, and it says negate, to deny the existence or truth of. Make, in effect, all this dictionary has to say about the word negate. So, to deny the existence or truth of is what it says is to negate something. Does anybody have a comment they'd like to say about the word negate? Why it's said that we don't negate anything?
Yeah, it's interesting. This is Val from Huntington Beach. Hi, Tim.
Yeah,
it's interesting how when we talk about things of a particular nature that are perceived as criticisms, we are not really criticizing, such as chemtrails. We're not criticizing chemtrails, but it's perceived as negating it or criticizing something. But we're just telling people what's going on, or from our point of view, we have a right to do that. We're just sharing from what we've found out from our looking into these matters. So when we talk about something, it doesn't necessarily mean, and it doesn't mean we're not negating anything, because everybody has a right to do what they do, to create what they create. But we also have a right to do what we do, and it's not about negating any other people's creations. That's not why we're here. Well, it's because they have a right too. Hitler had a right to do what he did, even though it sounds like a bad statement. But it's like, in a way, he had a right, because that's why we're here in the worlds of creation, to gain experiences in different viewpoints, and so that just stands the way it is. It's just creation is about. So to negate somebody's creation doesn't make sense. Now, this world is full of people negating others, but we're not. Our particular group here doesn't do that. We're just reporting the news and telling it like we see it, and we may not always be right, so-called right, but we're just we do attempt to get a bigger view of things, and an overall view that is more objective and more of a almost disinterested, or just more stand back kind of view, without attempting to be politically right or socially like do-gooders, or religious or spiritual, or attempting to lead people to like heaven or some spiritual path or truth or love or anything like that. It's just telling it like it is. But negating something, that's kind of interesting, because it doesn't have to be that way, really, because you're stepping on somebody else's creation. Now, again, if someone's doing that to you, you have every right to do something about it in a creative way. We're not advocating violence in any way, but there's ways around other people's infringement on your space and point of view. You could use creative ways. So, and one of the ways is just establish your own position. So, the people in power right now have spent a lot of time, effort, and creativity to establish their position of control and manipulation, and each individual doesn't have to agree to that, and they can establish their own position, and that's why we're here, to help people to, we call it UP, Universal Positioning, to creatively choose a position of their own choosing. You don't have to go along with the social, political, religious, spiritual story. You can create your own story and do your own, create your own position. So that's the start there. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Val. The way I was thinking about that word negate, and is kind of like people have the right to do whatever they want. And it seems to me pretty strange that like reptilians or whatever the Brutalatarians are, I hear about children being tortured and ate and stuff, and it's hard to see that in free will they can do those kind of things. And that's what I was kind of thinking about that word, and negate. We don't negate anything about this free will. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to mention about the word negate?
Hey, Tim. This is Henry.
Yeah. Hi, Henry.
Thanks for hosting the show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'd like to just say that. Yeah, I'd like to say that negating is like, you can only do it from a point of view of seeing that you're right and other people are wrong. Because negating is saying that it's, well, that doesn't matter, that, and, I'm right, that's wrong. Or that's one way of seeing it. And like Val was saying, we're really just reporting what's taking place. We're not negating things. Everybody makes their own decisions, and that's fine. We're just sharing things with people. Like Val said, the chemtrails, the geoengineering, HARP. There's so many things going on this planet that are right in front of people that they're not seeing. And so we're not negating them. We're just, sharing what's taking place with people so they can then make better choices. It's quite simple. And, we're not just sharing the things that don't make sense here. We're also sharing things that do make sense, like planting fruit trees and supporting the natural environment, which supports all of us. And so people can make better choices, like, supporting the natural environment that supports all of us too, and to the point where all they do is support the natural environment, which is the whole of life, the isness life is, which is endless, and it's a real adventure. But to negate things is to just say that, that doesn't matter. It's kind of like having an opinion or something, but does the sun shining negate things, or does it just be? It's just be. It just shines without any restrictions, without any ideas or anything. And so that's what we're really sharing, is that there's so much stuff going on here that doesn't make any sense. It's not a matter of negating it. It's just telling it like it is, which is what the show is called, Tell It Like It Is with Tim. And then just, like I said, share what is taking place, which doesn't make sense, and then share something that does make sense, which is like how you started the show with the new sound, which is with the whole of life, which of course makes sense. And like I said, supporting the natural environment and paying attention to life and starting to perceive what the isness life is. These things make sense, and it's not a matter of negating things that don't make sense, but like I said, just telling it like it is and giving people the opportunity to make better decisions, because everybody decides their life, and as you become more aware, you have the ability and opportunity to make better decisions that do make sense with the whole of life, according to the whole of life and your real awareness. So, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. I was thinking about these words that say that certain people are chosen ones. And I'm looking at it, and it's having to do with real guides and knowing who's been prepared, has gone through what it takes to become a chosen one. Like, how does the old words go? Many are called, but few are chosen. It seems like the chosen ones have a big opportunity, a responsibility maybe, to have the chance to present something wonderful for all. Does anyone want to mention how they see chosen ones? I wouldn't see it as anybody special or like that. It's just that we've all gone down through the sewer pipe of the material realms to try to get to a point where we can escape this farming realm, or part of the realm. But the words, the chosen ones, which the new presentation is stating that those involved are the chosen ones. Does anyone have anything they'd like to mention about that? Okay. Here we are in this material realm and creation. And it seems like what I'm understanding, becoming aware of, is to get connected to the real guides, and that we should be referring to the is and the real you. Would anybody like to talk about how they can refer to the is and the real guides and the real you? I kind of see it as the opportunity to earn our way into the real universes by what we do here in this physical, material part of creation. And whatever this process is, and being a new student, to try to get to experience different realms that aren't visible, like the astral realm and the causal realm and the mental realm and the etheric realm. And then it sounds like we have to have a real guide to make it out of this psych realm stuff, to get through the deep, dark border into the real universes. And then we have what's called the real freedom, to have an adventure without restrictions or anybody controlling others. We can do whatever we want as long as we're not interfering with other beings. I see it as that at the present, right in the now, this experience of being in this physical realm, lowest of all places, is that we're trapped in a matrix. And that without real guidance and a real education, we're going to be staying in this matrix over and over in what I guess is called reincarnation, coming back unaware, going through the human farming prison planet lifestyle over and over again, and it seems like it's just getting worse and worse to be here each life until whatever happens to this material stuff eventually. That's why it seems
Tim,
so
do you
important.
have any?
Yeah, go ahead, Henry.
I was just going to ask him if you had any real side experiences recently that you'd like to share.
Well, I did have one short one that I can just remember a little about, and something was going on. Anyway, Dwayne was present, and we had a pretty good jar with quite a bit of gold in it. I guess it would be pounds, but nothing, enormous or what I'd see materially as having the ability to build vessels or something like that. But whoever we were present with had left it with us, and I think Dwayne's words were, "I guess this is for us." So I guess it was maybe the real guides or something. Another thing about that is that I think when we ask for guidance, like to Rebazar, like right now, about, well, what should I be doing to help this, or I don't know if you call it help, but be doing for the benefit of all in this new presentation. We hear about these all-solar research vessels and things, and in this material realm, it takes material things, it seems, to build these vessels, to present the new presentation all over the earth and be beneficial for providing them clean water and somehow to find a way to try to purify air and the food stuff for the humans to have good food. It would take materially, it seems like at the present billions of dollars to do that. So in a way, it just depends what each of us thinks is the most important for us to be doing in this, trying to make certain things happen here in the material, like planting the trees for the benefit of the all. But with so much going on that seems to be controlled by the authoritarians, the brutalitarians, like anything goes. If you plant a tree, they burn it up, or on and on. They seem to have so much powers in this physical, whether they use what's called psychic tricks or any of that stuff, deal with. And if they time travel, they can see what you're doing at the right now and try to make it so they can prevent what you would do without their interference. But so there's so much to deal with here in this new presentation stuff, and whatever it is, step by step that we're doing. I hear a lot of, the personal experiences and personal dream visions, and I really wonder, what's the next step? what is it that we're trying to do to be guiding people to what is the for their benefit, those that are ready to get to real universes with real freedom. I just see it as, even if we do many wonderful things on this earth and whatever you call it, get away with it, that the authoritarians weren't able to prevent from happening, and it gets to the point too, well, how powerful are these brutalitarians in this psych realm stuff? And if they get upset, they can just blow the planet to pieces. Well, then what's the effort here? Anything more than just becoming aware of the real universes and getting out of the psych realm as being what's important, and why we came into this psych realm experience stuff, to learn about the real freedom and the things in the real universes, and that this place is just about as bad as it gets, and those that have the powers that be seem to be ready to destroy anything that they don't like. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say about these brutalitarians, authoritarians, and this human farming prison planet?
We were just discussing how Dwayne just wrote a group about God, and when he created God, he called it Ert. And then
yeah, I saw that.
That was fun. I read that last night. And then Frank and Bob wanted to call it Mars, and finally they all decided to call it Earth. But Dean Val here, he's going to write a group and a title about Colonel Sanders, because he's Colonel Sanders' twin brother, and he's going to talk about the chicken's god. So I'll just let him talk about that.
Well, chickens needed God too, and apparently it's Colonel Sanders, and the colonel has every now and then he has to sacrifice some of the chickens, so they, 10 chickens every Sunday or something like that. So we just thought we'd have some fun with that, because it is kind of ridiculous how things are set up, and the authoritarians have their imaginary pie in the sky gods, and the reptilians made these gods up, and then people just are worshiping and praying and doing funny things to destroy themselves, basically, because they're basically based on sacrifice. So it's a matter of waking up to what's real, and that's why we're here, just to help people to see that there's more to life. There's a bigger picture, but life is much bigger than worshiping somebody, praying to somebody you don't even know. And that's what Dwayne wrote the other night. Is just kind of shows how funny that people don't even know their God. They don't even know who they're worshiping and praying to. And you can actually meet the God they worship, and if you have inclination to travel to meet this fellow named Cal Naranjan and actually meet him. So it's available, but we're doing something more real and more fun with giving out the opportunity for people to wake up. Thanks, Tim.